What's up, everyone? Alright, so we're going back to Pokemon for a little while because I'm kind of burnt out on Magic a bit for a variety of reasons. I mean, I'm going to eventually go back to it, but I mean, it's been a super long time since I've played Pokemon, and I know a lot of my original followers came because of the Pokemon TCG, so I'm going to go ahead and jump back into that. I recently built a new deck, and after a lot of work, I think I finally nailed pretty much the entire setup. So we're going to go ahead and go through the deck real quick, play a couple of games, and move on. Just a quick heads up, though. Here soon, I will most likely move to streaming, and as soon as I get that all figured out, I'll start leaving the details in my uploaded videos, or I might just upload the segments of the streams. I'm not entirely sure yet. We'll get there when we get there. Anyway, let's go ahead and start looking at this deck. So this is mostly this is entirely a fire-centric deck, and because of that, we're going to go ahead and start off with Charmander, which evolves into our Charizard. The Charmander I chose has the first attack for 1 fire energy, allows you to attach 2 fire energy cards from your discard pile to this Pokemon, which is super relevant if this ends up becoming a late-game thing, although to be perfectly honest, so far I've never actually used an active Charmander. And then as a second attack is Flare for a fire and any other color, or in this case literally just fire. So we'll just go ahead and say 2 energy. He's got 70 health, and yeah, that's pretty much it. We got 3 copies of it. We only have 2 Charizards. We have 1 copy of Charmeleon just in case we don't hit that rare candy. His attacks are Slash for 20 and 1 Fire Energy or Raging Flames for 60, plus you discard the top 3 cards of your deck for 2 Fire Energy. Now, one thing I want to note here is you're going to notice a recurring theme with allowing me to discard stuff into the grave. So again, Charmeleon so far never really been played on the field, but if he was, that Raging Flames would actually be fairly relevant to the build. And he's got 90 hit points as well. Charizard GX, this is pretty much our ultimate big boy, our ultimate hitter. The ideal situation with this guy, you have it set up to where the downside from his second attack is completely mitigated. We've got a couple of ways to do that, and we'll go over them as we get there. But for this guy, he is 250 hit points. His first attack for 3 of any mana. So you know I've been playing way too much Magic. Any energy is 70, and then Crimson Storm is 300, but he has to discard 3 fire energy. He also has Raging Out GX, which allows you to discard the top 10 cards of your opponent's deck, but that's not typically helpful. So, yeah, it's not really helpful. The main thing we're doing is we're trying to hit for 300, and then we've got ways to work around that missing energy. So next up, we have the tag team Charizard Breaks In, I believe is what it is. Anyway, it's 270 hit points. Brilliant Flare says you can search your deck for up to 3 cards and put them into your hand. It does cost 4 energy, and it only does 180 points of damage. However, the GX, which is honestly the one I would most likely use, allows you to attach 5 basic energy cards from your discard pile to your Pokemon in any way that you like. If this Pokemon has at least 1 extra energy attached to it in addition to its attack cost, your opponent's active Pokemon is now burned or confused. So that's worded a little weirdly, but basically the way that it works is you can pull up to 5 fire energy out of the grave and put them either on your active Pokemon or on the bench. But if you have 5 basically or more on the Charizard Breaks In combo, you also burn your opponent's Pokemon after the effect resolves. And again, we got 2 of them. Next, we have Victini, who is a really interesting card because she's good both in the early game and late game. So in the early game, you can attach up to 3 energy cards from your discard pile to your Pokemon in any way that you like. And you might be thinking, well, that doesn't sound like something you do in the early game. But with this build, it absolutely is, because it is entirely possible to get a bunch of fire energy into the graveyard early on. Additionally, she can do use Energy Burst for 2 fire energy to do 30 damage for each energy attached to both active Pokemon. So she can actually close out the game against somebody who's loaded up the bases for themselves, or at the very least do a ton of damage. Next, we also have 2 copies of Talonflame. So the cool thing about Talonflame is normally in Pokemon you cannot attack if you go first, but with Talonflame you can, but you can only use the first attack, which literally is discard your hand and then draw 6 cards. Which, if you want to load up the graveyard with energy, which we do, this is a really good way to do it. You can also do 160 points of damage with Brightwing, but you have to discard an energy from this Pokemon to do it, and she's got 190 hit points. And then we have 3 copies of Incineroar, who honestly doesn't get used as much as you might think, but it is a basic Pokemon, so that's helpful. And he's one of the first ones that we can see the benefit of putting fire energy into the grave. So for 3 energy, including 2 fire energy, although they would all be fire energy, you can attach 2 fire energy cards from your discard pile to one of your benched Pokemon. I found out that it is only basic, so the special fire energy apparently doesn't work. But it also does 90 points of damage, and then for 4 damage, you can do 220, for 4 energy, you can do 220 points of damage to your opponent's Pokemon, but it also does 30 damage to itself, and it does have 220 hit points. So it's a pretty decent beater. It's a nice utility card as well, and overall, pretty solid choice. Next, we move into the trainer selection. We have 4 copies of Switch. There's 1 right here, and then 3 over here. This is the one that allows you to switch your active Pokemon with one of your benched Pokemon, which is absolutely necessary in this build. We have Ultra Ball, so we can go ahead and select whatever Pokemon we need, and we can pitch cards like Fire Energy into the grave in order to go get them. We have 2 copies of Rare Candy because evolution's not a huge theme in this deck, but it is really helpful to be able to pull that Charizard down in the earliest way possible. Next, we get into some unique fire utility cards. We have 1 copy of Scorched Earth, which is a stadium card, which allows us to discard fire energy from our hand to draw 2 cards. However, this is a universal effect, so if our opponent is playing either a fire or fighting deck, they can do it as well. Blacksmith, we absolutely have to have this. I should have 4, but I currently only have 3. You can attach 2 fire energy cards from your discard pile to one of your Pokemon. We have 2 copies of Professor Sycamore, which allows you to discard your entire hand and draw 7 cards, which is great if you have fire energy in your hand already, or just a bunch of stuff that's not particularly helpful. I've got 1 copy of Fisherman, which allows us to get 4 basic energy from our graveyard to the hand. It doesn't come into play a lot, but I do have it in there just in case. We have Kaiway, which is kind of a risky card, but also really good. So you can use it to search your deck for 4 fire energy cards and attach them to one of your Pokemon, then shuffle your deck, and your turn immediately ends afterwards. So this is the last card you want to play, and you want to use it pretty much to load up the bases, but you need to make sure that you're kind of in a safe spot to play this card. Next, we have Misty's Favor, and it says, search your deck for up to 3 support cards, reveal them, and put them into your hand, then shuffle your deck. We only have 1 because we only need to pull certain support cards when we need them, and she's a good way to go get them. Apparently, I actually have 3 copies of Professor Sycamore, so my bad there. And then we have 3 copies of Lysandre, which allows me to switch one of my opponent's bench Pokemon with their active Pokemon, which is really good if we're trying to make sure that we're hitting a specific target. A lot of these Pokemon don't do enough damage to necessarily knock the opponent out, or they will specifically set up a Pokemon that they can't pull a win con with, and we can use this in order to reverse that. Finally, we have a total of 22 energy, 18 basics, and then we got 4 of this one is a special one called Burning Energy. Whenever this one is discarded by a fire Pokemon's attack, it immediately goes back to that fire Pokemon. So if you think back to Charizard, Talonflame, pretty much all of the ones that, you know, force you to discard. If this card is on there, you can discard this one and then just immediately get it back. So, like, honestly, the coolest thing that you can do is load up 3 or even just 2 of these onto a Charizard. That way, when you go to discard, they just immediately pop back. Even doing this on a Talonflame is a bit OP, and I kind of love doing it. All right, so that's enough talking about the deck. Let's go ahead and get into a few games. All right, we got Fireballin loaded up. Let's go ahead and seek out our first match and see how we do. Now, this doesn't have a lot of as many combo tricks as Edgy Eevee, which, by the way, that deck's been upgraded, and I cannot wait to show off how that works. We're going to go ahead and say Tails. Well, we won. So, yeah, we're going to want to go first. This is a deck where you always want to go first, just in case you pull that Talonflame. Ooh, okay, not a great hand. We only have that Charmander, and I mean, we have the rare candy in case we get lucky and we pull the Charizard, but honestly, if we do, we'd still end up having to wait for quite some time. So we got to get really lucky, hopefully pull something that allows us to, like, discard the hand, like that, that one Professor, I think Sycamore or whatever it is, but we'll see. Okay, no luck yet. Our opponent has a Chimico. Let's see. It allows us to go search for a support card for its first attack. And then, ooh, that Hypnoblast, 30 damage, and it forces our opponent to sleep, or our Pokemon to sleep. That's not good. They also have a Snorlax on the bench. Rolling Tackle for 80, Heavy Impact for 130. Not super worried about this, though, because its HP is only 150, and it still takes a lot of work to load that thing up. Plus, we do have a Pokemon in our deck that specifically punishes having a lot of energy. Okay, so they pulled a Gardevoir and a Koga's Trap. That Koga's Trap is actually a bit concerning because that could actually very easily detriment us. Ooh. Bad luck, but I do know that this thing evolves into something specifically that needs that energy. We'll do the 20 damage just because we can get it in, but honestly, unless we pull something really good next turn, we're probably screwed. Yep, confused and poisoned. Okay, I have never seen Big Parasol before. What the heck is that? Okay, so all that does is prevent effects. It's not super useful. Okay, so they pulled a Gardevoir VMAX and Hop. So they want to draw and they want to evolve stuff. Yeah. This is not good at all. I mean, all we can really do, we might get lucky and still have another turn out. With that said, though, because we're already taking damage, I don't want to take the risk on the confusion, and we'll just pass the turn here. Either they hit us and we get knocked out this turn, or we just pull out next turn if we don't pull a Charizard off the top of the deck. Honestly, that doesn't bother me as much as it should. The whole losing an energy. Okay, they're still searching. It looks like they're trying to load up the bases, but I don't know why. Maybe they just can't. I mean, what's the retreat cost on this thing? Just 1. Yeah, they could probably... Yeah, not quite. Yeah, it's still not super helpful. Yeah, I think at this bet it would be just better. At this point, it would just be better to concede because we're not going to catch up. So let's try that again. Hopefully without a garbage hand this time. See, because it's important to remember, one huge difference between Pokemon and Magic is with Magic, you get to choose to mold, but with Pokemon, it's mandatory only in the event that you don't have a basic. And if you do have a basic, you have to keep the hand. Okay. Well, they sure are taking their time trying to figure out who goes first. Alright, they're going first. Okay, this is not terrible. What I see us doing, since we're going second, is probably playing Misty's favor to go get Kaiway and, a few other things. So we'll go ahead and put the Charizard or Braixen up first because we can load the bases with that and then turn around and just do a ton of damage afterwards. Okay, they're still picking out their active. If their sleeves are an indicator, we might have an upper hand already. Alright, they've got everything all started up. Cool, we have a switch. They have, what do we got here? Rillaboom V. You can search for 2 basic grass and put them onto your... Oh, grass Pokemon, put them onto your bench with Forest Feast, and then 220 with Woodhammer, but it has 30 damage to itself. So it's kind of like this, but different. At least it's got a functional option that helps in the early game, followed up by an absolute beat stick move. That's pretty much what the similarities are. Okay, so they popped a Butterfree. Dang, they're just loading the... They're going to load the bench. They're going to load the bases. See if they can't hit a home run. Alright, they're pulling a Grookey, which eventually turns into a Rillaboom. Alright, so we'll go ahead and play Misty's Favor. And then we will go get Kaiway. Let me double check what this says. Okay, and you have to put them on one Pokemon. Alright. Then we will go ahead and get... Ooh, I'm thinking a Professor Sycamore and a Blacksmith. Alright. And then because Kaiway can only put all 4 on one Pokemon, I will go ahead and put them on the Charizard and Braixen next turn. For now, I will just end. And then we'll just put the Fire Energy on. I mean, we already did it, but we'll put the Fire Energy on. That's in a row. Skyla allows you to go search for a trainer card. Misty's Favor allowed to go get 3 of those. Ooh, intense. Alright, yeah, they pulled a Thwacky. That makes sense. Involve that Grookey, which means we'll probably see a top end next turn. The thing is, though, I'm not seeing him pull a whole lot of energy. Which means we may just kind of inherently have the upper hand here. So we'll go ahead and put this Fire Energy down. Play Kaiway. 1, 2, 3, 4. Done. Put him on the Charizard Braixen. Oh, shoot. I only got 3? That's not good. Well, Wait, Rillaboom, what? What was that first ability on it? Oh, okay. So that's going to be how they load their bases. But they still can't use Wood Hammer yet. So that we have to get lucky off of the top deck here, which is entirely possible. Or we're going to have to play Professor Sycamore and ditch the rest of the hand. Which would really suck, because there's a lot of useful utility in this hand. Plus, we'll be losing one of the Charizards, and we only have 2. But we can functionally win without Charizard, so it's not the worst thing in the world. Alright, so they put down a Butterfree, I think. And then, what's this? Okay, that's rough, buddy. Yeah, that didn't help. Alright, Sycamore it is. It's a lot of value just straight up gone, but it's what we had to do to not lose. Talonflame down. We'll go ahead and put our energy on. The Charizard breaks in. And we are going to burn. Burn them straight up down. Alright, we're going to go get... Let's go ahead and set ourselves up for Charizard. Oh, wait. Charizard's not going to be in here. Never mind. In that case, let's get... Let's get a Scorched Earth so we can get rid of their thing. Go ahead and get the CT, and then, yeah, I know. And then our last Blacksmith. Okay, discard Fire Energy, or discard Proof Fire Energy, I guess. And let's see what they do here. Alright, I'm pretty sure they're just going to sack that Oddish. And they're probably going to load up the Butterfree. Yeah, okay, they are. This is when it would be nice to have Lysander again. Alright, pop in the Gloom. Are they going to use Sleep Powder? They are not going to use Sleep Powder. Alright, we will go ahead and play that Stadium card. Activate the Stadium. Discard a Fire Energy. Draw 2 Fire Energy, apparently. Alright, we're going to go ahead and put down a Visiti. And we'll go ahead and load up an Incineroar a bit. And then we will go ahead and... yeah, we will go ahead and Brilliant Flare the Gloom. Search the deck. Let's see. This time we will get a Lysander and an Energy. And there's not really a whole lot of need for anything else. Guess we'll get a Charmander. That's a Visiti. Victini. I don't really know how to pronounce it. Oh, goodness. Well, if we do lose our current Pokemon, we can straight up just tank it out. Tank out that Butterfree, I mean. Because I guarantee it still has weakness to fire. It does. So yeah, sucks we lost Charizard and Breaks In, but I'm pretty sure we get 3 prizes for knocking this out anyway. Yep. So, realistically, we just kind of won. Alright, cool. Type advantage for the win. And that's how it's done with this build. Alright. Let's do one more game and then we'll wrap it up. Okay, they're calling the coin flip with this really cool coin. We lost the coin flip. We may not get to go first. Okay, so Talonflame's going up first. And I'll be perfectly honest, I'm comfortable with pitching this hand. Alright, yeah. We will go ahead and load up an energy on Talonflame. And we are going to reset the hand. So we can get more cool stuff. That was not better. Let's see. What all do we have in here? Only one of those energies is a fire energy. This is a dark type Pokemon. Eternatus. Does more damage to VMAXs. And it allows you to load up dark energy with the first attack. And then on the bench we have Slowbro V, which is a dark type apparently. I'm guessing this isn't a Alolan thing. Oh no, it's a Galarian. Force poison your opponent with the rapid fire poison. And then you can keep them from retreating with the second one and do 130 points of damage. Crobat. Just does 70 damage plus poison. And it allows you to draw. Interesting stuff. Interesting. Alright, we're going to go ahead and put down them things. I'm not really expecting a whole lot out of this Talonflame. I mean, I'll try to be optimistic, but, you know, also be realistic. Instead, I think I want to focus on making sure I load up the energy onto my Incineroar, as this one is most likely going to just go straight to him. A cool thing is Talonflame also has 0 retreat cost, which means I can just pull up Incineroar next turn anyway. Oh goodness, they just straight up VMAX this thing. Alright, what's it got? 30 damage for each dark Pokemon in play. Well then. We're going to have to see this to the bitter end. Die. Or at least take a lot of damage. I should say a lot more damage. Yeah, as soon as that thing evolved, I knew that Talonflame was done for. I mean, the original plan was to retreat, but that thing can just straight up tank this thing. And I'd rather take the L with Talonflame and then follow up by killing our opponent with Incineroar. Oh, okay. Well, they're anticipating that move. I'm still fine with that. Alright, we'll go ahead and put this up. Put down. Breaks in. Put both of these on. Okay, yeah. And then we'll do a Flare Blitzer. There's no reason not to knock it out because the follow-up attack from the other Pokemon that does have energy is not enough to just to end the game. Interesting. Make note of that for next time I decide to do a dark type build. If I ever decide to do a dark type build, which I might. But if you didn't catch that, the thing is allowing him to search for a dark type energy and a dark type Pokemon. And it looks like he found this. Alright. Now what? Let's see. So you can only do 120 points of damage at the moment. Okay, make that 150. Okay, now he can knock it out. Yep, there it is. Okay, so we have to win with the Charizard Vixen combo. The good news is we have Blacksmith in hand, which means it makes it a little bit easier to pull those. And then we'll just go ahead and put this down. Bad news is I'm not certain I can win at this point. But let's see what we can pull off. We'll go ahead and pull this Charizard and a rare candy just in case, and then we'll pull a switch just in case we can pull some nonsense off here. Just in case. Just in case. Yes. Maybe. The chances of victory all hinge entirely on what our opponent does next. If we get lucky and they make some really stupid moves, we can win this. But if we get unlucky, then we just straight up lose here. Let's see, look, now we don't even need the damn rare candy. Goodness, I cannot speak today. Okay, so strategy-wise, we've got 3-4 types of fire energy in the grave. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Hey, that's pretty interesting. It's better than just drawing 3 cards, depending. Oh, Lysander. Okay, can I knock any of these out with a one-shot? I can. I can hit the Crobat and win. And that's a win. Boom! No point in searching the deck. We just won. All right. So, yeah. I don't know if any of you guys saw my original attempt at building a fire build, but I take back everything I said about it not being possible. And pretty sweet build. So, yeah. Thanks for watching. Again, I'll give updates on the streaming thing when I have more information on that. And hope you guys have a great rest of the day.